Well, hello everybody. It's Mr. Pete from Inside Out Literary Arts. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm here. I'm going to read you another book, one of my very favorite books of all time. It's called Small Pig by Arnold Lobel. I love this book about as much as a pig loves mud, and you know how much pigs love mud. In fact, I love that book so much that it was the inspiration for this book that I wrote many years later called We Make Mud, which is a book about not a pig who loves mud, but a book about two boys who are brothers who love mud. So as you can see on the cover of this book, Small Pig, we've got our main character, Small Pig, and you can see what he's standing in right there, which is a puddle or a pig pen made of mud. So I wonder what the story might be here about a pig who loves mud. So I'm going to open up to the opening pages and tell you this story. Here's Small Pig again, our main character, and now you can see he's not in a puddle of mud or a pig pen. Looks like he's walking or maybe even running down a road. I wonder why he might be running down a road. Here's also, you can see Small Pig again. And here, I don't know if you can tell what that is, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a vacuum cleaner. I wonder what a vacuum cleaner might play a role in the story of Small Pig. Let's see. The story begins. The small pig lives in a pig pen on a farm. Small pig, farm, pig pen, mud. The small pig likes to eat, and he likes to run around the barnyard, and he likes to sleep. But most of all, the small pig likes to sit down and sink down in good, soft mud. Now, Small Pig doesn't live alone. He's got a family right here, the farmer and the farmer's wife. The farmer and his wife love the small pig. We think you are the best pig in the world, they say. And you can see Small Pig is looking up at them quite adoringly from his big old pig pen made out of mud. So things are going well so far for our main character until one day paradise is disrupted. One morning, the farmer's wife says, "Today I will clean my house." So she cleans the upstairs. You can see what she's cleaning with, right? A vacuum cleaner. Then she cleans the downstairs. So maybe that's the role that the vacuum cleaner plays. And now you can see her from her upstairs window looking out on the rest of the farm. "My house is spotless," says the farmer's wife, "but the rest of this farm is very dirty. I will get to work and clean it up." You can see here Small Pig in his mud paradise. I don't think he knows what's about to come. The farmer's wife cleans the barn and the stable and the chicken coop. There's probably a lot of things to clean in a chicken coop. Then she comes to the pig pen. And here, if you look at the expression on Small Pig's face, he's looking a little confused. "Heavens!" cries the farmer's wife. This is the dirtiest spot of all. So, with her vacuum cleaner, she cleans the pig pen and she washes the pig. She gives him a bath. Do you think Small Pig likes to take baths? I don't think so. That's better, says the farmer's wife. Now everything is neat and shiny. You can see here she seems pretty happy. But the look on Small Pig's face, and he's got this pretty little blue bow wrapped around his neck, I don't think he's quite as happy. Where is my good soft mud? Asks the Small Pig. I guess it's gone, says the farmer. I'm sorry. What can he do? But our Small Pig, can see the look on his face. He is more than sorry. He is, you see that word? Angry. This place is too neat and shiny for me, he says. So that night, Small Pig runs away. So now remember the road earlier on in the beginning pages? Now we can see why maybe that Small Pig took to the road. I wonder where he's going. Soon, Small Pig finds a swamp. Ah, cries the Small Pig, here is some good, soft mud. Because remember, he's leaving the farm because the mud, the thing that he loves most, is gone. So now he's going to go searching maybe for a new home. But that new home has to have one thing in order for Small Pig to be happy. And you know what that one thing is. M-U-D, mud. The Small Pig sits down and sinks down into the mud. Lovely, lovely, he says, and then he goes to sleep. Okay, seems pretty content right there. Do you think the story's going to end there, though? No. One thing writers like to do is they like to sort of keep the story going once they've found the story to tell. So I think that there's more pages and more adventures to come for Small Pig. Ouch, says the Small Pig as a dragonfly bumps into his nose. Oops, says the Small Pig as a frog jumps onto his head. Yow, says the Small Pig. A turtle is biting his tail. These are the other creatures of the swamp. Move yourself out of here, says a big snake. You are taking up space that belongs to us. Because remember, a swamp is not necessarily a place where most pigs live. They live on farms, right? So the other animals in the swamp are sort of getting sort of protective. And maybe we could even say they're not being all that friendly to Small Pig. Maybe they're even bullying him. So, guess what, Small Pig? He has to leave. So the Small Pig moves himself out of there in a hurry, and he runs on down the road. Do you think he's going back to the farm? Probably not. Why? Because there's no mud back at the farm. Soon enough, he comes upon this place. Junk yard. Here's a very dirty place, says the Small Pig. There is sure to be some good soft mud nearby. It's not a bad possibility. The Small Pig finds broken bottles and old television sets. He finds kitchen sinks and empty soup cans. But he does not find any mud. I don't think he's going to stick around the junkyard, do you? Cars are fun, says the small pig. You can see he's pretending he's driving around in a car, but they're not as much fun as mud. Sofas are soft, says the small pig, but not as soft as mud. Then he sees something that he does not like at all. You see that? You know what that is, right? That's why there's no mud around here, cries the small pig, and he runs on down the road. I wonder where he's going. And I guess we could agree that at this point, Small Pig is on a journey. He's on an adventure in search of the thing that he loves. At the end of the road is a large city. That's the large city. Even the air is dirty here, says the small pig. There is sure to be some good soft mud nearby. So guess what? Small pig, he goes down the road into the big city. Soon Small Pig finds what he is looking for. And you can see right here, he sees something that looks a lot like, you guessed it, mud. Now, unlike all of you, Small Pig can't do one thing. He can't read. He didn't go to school the way all of you go to school. So he doesn't see a sign with these two words on it. Keep off. And also this word, cement. So what do you think this might be? You got it. It's not mud. So then Small Pig, he sits down and sinks down into the good, soft mud that we know isn't mud, but it's cement. This mud is strange, says the small pig. Look at the look on his face. Sort of a surprised expression. It's not very soft at all. In fact, it's getting harder and harder. Small Pig tries to get up, but he cannot move. Because you know that cement, that when it's wet, might look like mud. Eventually, it turns very hard. It turns into concrete. It turns into the sidewalk that we walk down and the streets, the pavement that we drive down. Soon, a few people stop to stare at the small pig because they've probably never seen a pig in the big city, let alone a pig that's stuck in some cement. And they're all sort of gathered around looking a little bit surprised by what they're seeing. More and more people come to see the small pig. Probably some of them are a little bit worried and wondering what to do, and maybe even others are, I don't know, maybe even making fun of him. How could a pig be so foolish as to think that wet cement was actually mud? Then many, many people come to look because they have never seen a pig stuck in the sidewalk. Have you ever seen a pig stuck in the sidewalk? You have now. Now, meanwhile, while all of this is going on, guess what? Remember, the farmer and his wife, they love Small Pig. So they've probably been very upset, and they've been hopefully calling around and asking their friends if they've seen the small pig sort of wandering around. And you can see they're in their car, so they've been looking for the small pig. The farmer and his wife drive by in their car. Look at that big crowd of people, says the farmer. Let's stop and see what's happening. All right, says the farmer's wife, but hurry. We must keep looking for our lost pig. The farmer stops the car. "What's happening here?" he asks a man. "Oh, nothing much," says the man. "There's just a pig stuck in the sidewalk." You can see them here. They jump out of that car lickety-split, and they're running with open arms toward their beloved small pig. "Heavens!" cries the farmer's wife. "That is our pig that's stuck in the sidewalk. Call the police! Call the firemen!" shouts the farmer. Now, by this time, everyone in the city has come to see the small pig. The policemen hold back the huge crowd, and you can see here small pig looking up at his farmer and the farmer's wife, and they're all looking pretty troubled right now in terms of what are we going to do. I wonder what they're going to do. What would you do if your beloved pig was stuck in wet cement that turned hard? They've called the firemen. So the firemen bring their tools to break the sidewalk. You can see they've got like an axe and maybe a big hammer and this thing here called a jackhammer. That'll, I think, solve the problem. "Please," says the farmer's wife, "be very careful. We think that small pig is the best pig in the whole wide world." So the firemen work very carefully. You can see, and soon the small pig is set free. He jumps into the arms of the farmer and his wife. And you can see here, they're reunited and they're feeling pretty good about what's going on. Do you think the story ends there? Not quite. And I want you to think about this too. Remember, they're going to be going back, hopefully, together, the three of them, back to the farm. But is Small Pig going to be completely happy about going back home? Think about that. Maybe why not? So they all drive home together. They leave the big city. This big crowd of people are probably saying, "See you later." And as luck would have it, just as they come to the farm, you can see the sky gets all dark and a storm begins. And it rains and it rains. Now remember, what happens when it rains and when rain falls to the earth and it hits the dirt? And guess what gets almost magically made? You got it. Mud. The farmer says, "Look, now there's a brand new mud puddle in the pig pen." And the farmer's wife says, "I promise never to clean it up again." You can see they're all on the same page here, meaning they're all reunited. So Small Pig runs into the pig pen. Now the sun is shining. First, he has his supper, because remember, pigs like to eat. And they like to run around the barnyard. And then he sits down and sinks down into the good, soft, you got it, mud. And at that point, guess what, boys and girls? We've come to the end of the story, and the end of the adventure, and the end of the journey called Small Pig. I hope you've enjoyed that story. Now, maybe you've enjoyed it so much that maybe you'd want to write your own story and maybe make your own book. And guess what? You see this? It's a box of cereal. No, I'm not going to eat a big bowl of Cheerios right now. But maybe you have a box of cereal in your cupboard. Guess what you can make with a box of cereal? You can take one part of the box and you can cut it out. Why? It's cardboard. It's sort of strong. Makes for a good book cover. Just like this could be a book waiting to be made into your own story. Maybe about an animal who loves something, or a little boy or a little girl who loves something that maybe temporarily something happens to that thing that they love. It gets taken away, it gets cleaned up. They're told that they can't play with it or in it. And then on the inside, there's no cereal here, but there are some blank pieces of paper. Maybe you have some paper at your home. You can just sort of take that paper and fold it. If you take maybe 5 or 6 sheets of it and fold it in half, and then either glue it or even with a stapler, you can staple the pages right into the cardboard, like so, just to sort of give it a good home. But remember, these pages are blank, and every blank piece of paper is waiting for words to make that piece of paper into something more than what it is. And that's where your imagination comes into play. And you can take a plain piece of cardboard, blank sheets of paper, and make your own homemade book. This is a book that my daughter made when I think she was maybe in the 4th or 5th grade, called Fred and the Blank Book. You can see this is like a piece of cardboard. I don't think it's from a cereal box. It's probably from some other kind of box. And then she set about writing her own story and then drawing the pictures to go along with it. So maybe next time I'll share this book, Fred and the Blank Book, written and illustrated by Helena Marcus. But I hope that you might be inspired by Small Pig to write your own story and to make your own book. What do you think about that? I'd love to hear and read and see some of those stories. I'll see you guys next time.